Good afternoon, friends. 12 o'clock on Thursday, November 36th.
In the central time zone.
In the central east western zone, year of our Lord, 2048.
We're dumb.
We're stupid idiots.
Welcome
back.
Yeah.
Golden Edge Gear.
Yeah.
What are we doing today?
I was just going to say thank you for bearing with us as we're really stupid, but
yeah.
Yeah.
We're both underslept today. Which makes for interesting content, I think.
Yeah.
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 I keep like
you guys let us know in the comments if it's interesting content or not.
Although let us know in the subscriber base.
Yes, also that. You could subscribe to our channel.
Or unsubscribe. But please don't. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
No.
Oh no. Why did you say it? Why did you do it?
Hey pals, we really appreciate you guys popping in once a week to check out what Derek and I are into. And if we can ask one more favor of you, we would love it if you would like and subscribe to these videos and leave some comments.
Anyway, today we're talking about amplifiers a little bit. And we've got two amplifiers mic'd up here. And first of all, we're going to talk about, I have a couple of old Fender amps, and this is one of them, which is one of my favorites, which is 65 Deluxe Reverb.
Yeah.
An original Blackface. And I know what a fan you are of Blackface, or just old Fenders in general.
Old Fenders in general, yeah.
That I don't think you've ever played this one. So I figured I would bring it out for this. And then we also get lots of comments of people asking, like, the Joey Landreth or the D25 stock versions, like, how do they compare against Princeton's Deluxe Reverbs and things like that?
Yeah.
We don't have a Princeton here, but I thought, what the hell, why don't we just have them both set up?
Yeah.
Then we can kind of toggle back and forth between them. So, yeah. So I think a little bit, where did your, like, first experiences with vintage Fender amps come from?
Well, the first one, I mean, would have been when I was younger, sitting in with my dad's band. He had a variety of different guitar players on that gig. So, I mean, I would have been playing through, an old Deluxe or Vibrolux or something like that at that point, depending on who was in the band at the time. But my first experience, like, owning one, I have a 66 no reverb Fender Deluxe.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually a gift from my neighbor who was taking guitar lessons with me. I've told this story before, so if anybody's heard it before, fast forward. But I was giving me guitar lessons. I was using my dad's Gibson GA6, an old, like, small combo that he had, 50s, from the 50s. And he said, I have an amp like that, but it's not Gibson. It's the other big guitar company. And so we ended up figuring out that it was a Deluxe that he had, and it was sitting in a literal puddle in his basement, or it had been in a flood in his basement. And when he was a kid, he bought it brand new in like 66 or 67.
Wow.
And he thought it looked cooler without the black panel behind it. So he pulled off the knobs and threw away the panel, like the faceplate, and then took all the knobs off and using garden shears tried to cut the skirts off the knobs. So it was just completely bastardized. But when I got it, it had the original Oxford, or actually at that point it would have been a Jensen. I ended up sadly blowing it up because I just pushed it too hard. But it had the original Jensen, had no work done to it, original tubes, everything.
Wow.
Yeah. And much to my sort of cringing now, I just immediately plugged it right into the wall and turned it on and cranked it up. And luckily nothing was wrong with it and sounded awesome. And I eventually had a bunch of work done to it, got a custom vintage correct faceplate made for it, replaced all the knobs, and he had lost the back panels for it as well. It's in pretty rough shape, but I still have it. And it's the only thing in my collection that I will never ever get rid of because it's very sentimental. Got from my neighbor Ron, and yeah. So if ever for any reason Ron ever sees this video from Newton Avenue, I still have your old Fender amp, and I wound up buying a second one when I found I was on the road and somebody wanted a reasonable price for it, and I bought a second one, but I've since sold that because I just never used it. And it was a 65, but I was just like, between the combo and sorry, it had been chopped into a head. So it was like between the combo or taking out the head with a cab, I always took the combo. So I just never used it. So I sold that to a fella in Germany, and I kind of regret it, but whatever. It's just an amp. So that's kind of where old Fenders started for me. And now I've owned probably, currently in my collection, I've got 3 or 4 old Fenders, but I've had as many as like 8.
Cool.
And I've never had a deluxe reverb, and now they're so crazy expensive.
Yeah.
I had somebody try to sell me one for $7,500. I was like, nah, no, I'm good.
I don't know that they were that expensive, but
I don't think they are.
oh, okay.
I don't think they are, but
They added the Joe tax.
yeah, it's like
Yeah. You share her name with Bonamassa, you got to have some money.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's so funny how often that happens. And I'm like, have you seen the car I drive?
I see your van. I know what's what.
Rusty.
Yeah. Let's have a listen, and then I'll talk a little bit about my Fender stuff and some questions that I have for you about old Fenders.
Okay.
So, so this is the Deluxe Reverb. We're going into the vibrato channel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds nice.
Sounds nice. That reverb. Mwah.
Yeah. Do we need the foot switch for this to work?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, I've never been a fan of the Opto trem
Okay.
in this era of, and I know lots of people, it might be sacrilegious, but I much prefer the bias vary trem from either Silverface or Brownface. So, like not all Brownface amps had harmonic trem.
Right.
Lots of them did. Supers, concerts, Vibrasonics, like the Bandmaster, which was like the blonde Bandmaster, which was kind of a Brownface era amp, had bias trem. The Princetons had bias trem. The Vibra Verb had harmonic trem, but the Opto trem, it's just a little choppy,
Okay.
and I've never loved it.
Okay. Yeah,
Call me crazy.
So look, well, let's you know more about the differences between like the Tweeds, the Brownface, and the Blackface than I do. I just know how the ones that I have, how each of them sound, right? Like I haven't dug into like what are the differences in the trem or what are the main differences in the circuits. I started out, to be honest, the first time I played an old Fender, I think was yours. When we did the 2 notes shoot that we did, we had your Deluxe.
Yeah.
And I think we had Ariel had a Deluxe Reverb, I think. Mm-hmm. And then we had 2 old Marshalls.
Yeah.
For the Torpedo Live shoot we did back, like 2015 or 16.
Whew. Yeah.
16, 17, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And
Skinny Joe era.
Skinny Joe era.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a Skinny Derek era for a long time. It's been more than 30 years, my friend. Welcome to my club. So that's actually when I kind of started off on vintage Marshalls and vintage Fenders, was from that video shoot that we did. And I had just been so used to like, the majority of Fenders that I had played were like Princeton Chorus, like solid state, kind of garbage, or the Blues DeVilles, which I liked the DeVille especially if you got it modded and took some of the muddiness out of it.
Yeah.
But otherwise, that was the extent of my experience with Fenders. So right after that video, I bought a 66 Bassman head that's up behind you. That was just, it is unbelievable. It sounds fantastic. It has a Bandmaster output transformer in it, like it has been. It wasn't intentionally modded that way. It's just the repair guy that it went to when the OT blew up. That's what he had. So that's what got it back working. And after that, it was just kind of slowly, you know, a friend of mine, his dad had a 1960 Tweed 410 Bassman. It was like, hey, would you be interested in this amp? I'm like, well, yes, I would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
and,
a good amp.
You know, kind of everything from there that I've picked up, you know, along the way has been very much like that, where it's like, oh, hey, my buddy's got this 1965 Super Reverb, you know. I know you're like, when Travis was working for us, he's like, hey, Tom Bukovac's got this 65 Super Reverb that he's trying to sell. He's like, I know you're into those, like into old Fenders. He's like, do you want to check it out? Because I was down in Nashville for like a month at the time, and I was like,
is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic amp. Like,
You should give that to me.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We will find some things that you should give to me, and then I can give that to you.
Give me your tears.
Come here, gypsy. Yeah, so that kind of started me down that road, and I never really got into the like Brownface models at all until my buddy Dan Thomas brought by a Brownface Super that he was looking to...
you have a like late 59, early 60 center volume Super.
Yes.
Which is...
Yeah.
That's the one.
I would not know the difference at all, apart from you telling me.
Yeah.
So you're like, it's not that great. It's kind of shitty. You should probably sell it cheap.
Yeah, they're garbage.
You're like,
you wouldn't like it.
Yeah, you're like, I know a guy.
You know what? I'll do you a favor. I'll take that off your hands for
$500 maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
$650?
Oh, okay. Great, cool.
Still.
So yeah, that kind of started me down that road. And to be honest, I don't play them very often because most of the time that I play guitar is when we're doing live streams or anything. But I do like collecting cool old stuff when it comes up that it's worthwhile for me to grab. And I got very, very great deals on everything that I have. So
Yeah.
if I had to pay the market prices on stuff, I don't think I would have any of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's also how I ended up with this one, is Dan called me and was just like, hey, I got this Deluxe Reverb, because he ends up buying these great vintage amps, and then he ends up wanting to flip them. And he's like, I don't want to ship it to some guy in the States and then end up, it gets damaged in shipping. He's like, any chance we can work something out? And then it's your problem. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure we can work something out. So,
yeah, for sure. I mean, I just went through that with 3 amps I sold, and you helped me ship, because it was like, I sold them and then looked at, I ballparked what I thought the shipping was going to be, and then when I actually looked at it, it was like, oh man, this is... So I actually went back to the guy I sold them to, and I was like, I can't do it, because it's like, by the time I pay for the shipping, it's going to chew up, a chunk of the sales. So
it is crazy right now. Like, when we ship stuff for Revv, like, we'll often, if we're down, like say the NAMM show, we'll go to the NAMM show. NAMM show ends and we decide, okay, we're going to sell off a bunch of the cabinets we have. We kind of try to keep things for somewhere between like 3 and 4 years. And then like cabinet wise, and then we're like, okay, these have enough like nicks and dings in the Tolex that let's get rid of these so that the stuff that's at the show is new. And man, I remember I was like selling a 4x12 cabinet, and I was like, hey, they're $1,500 new. You know what? I'll sell it for 50% off, right? Like, I'll sell it for $750 to somebody. And the last time I had shipped a 4x12 cabinet in the US using FedEx Ground, it cost me about $120. So I got a guy message me being like, yeah, I'd love to grab the cabinet. Can you cover the shipping? And I was like, yeah, sure. Like whatever, right? And I went to ship it, and it cost me $400 to ship it. And I was like, ooh, like I paid somebody to take this cabinet off of my hands. Like, holy shit. And the rates to ship things that are like over 75 pounds have just gone up so drastically, and all shipping rates for that matter. So that's why when you were telling me what you were doing, I was like, just bring those down here. We'll take care of it especially because you're shipping 3 to 1 person. I'm like, we can send that out freight. It's going to cost, what it'll cost you to ship 1 is what it's going to cost to ship all 3 insured.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, but it is nerve wracking. You know, I can understand why Dan didn't want to ship this one or the Brownface Super, because I mean, if you're talking about an amp that's probably somewhere between $5,000 and $7,000 now,
Yeah.
like if it arrives damaged, I mean, no one's gonna be happy.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, electronically, it's pretty hard to damage.
Yeah.
So it would be cosmetic, and it'd be like the baffles caved in, the speakers imploded, the cabinet got cracked. It would be something like that, So yeah, it's a drag, but thankfully, the amps that I sold, they landed in a good spot. But go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'd love to know in the comments how many of you guys have old either Fenders or Marshalls, and how many of you guys are into vintage amps.
Let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love old Fender amps specifically, especially for the kind of thing that I do. But they do have, they're not neutral. Like, I think a lot of people kind of like, anytime you open up like an IR of a Fender Deluxe or Princeton or something, like in your HX Stomp or whatever, they're this kind of like flaccid neutral tone that are great pedal platform, yada yada yada. That's not really the case with the real ones,
right?
And I speaking from experience, a lot of times people will go, "Hey, I got a really great old 65 Deluxe. Do you want to use that for your gig? We'll be playing somewhere." And most often than not, I'll say no.
Right.
And not because it's not a great amp, because it's not going to do what I need it to do.
Right.
And so I normally ask for a Hot Rod DeVille or a Hot Rod Deluxe because I can use one of my preamp pedals into the power amp.
Right.
Totally bypass the preamp. And that is neutral.
Right.
Like, it's pretty, I mean, I think the Hot Rod series, with respect, are terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I do, and I mean, like, I ask for them because they're super consistent.
Yeah.
And the power amp is great for handling. All that to say, one of the greatest guitar sounds I heard with my own ears was a local guy, Pat Wright, playing through a Hot Rod DeVille. And I even I said to him at the end of the gig, and I felt like such an asshole, and I messaged him apologizing after, but I was like, first of all, that was like one of the greatest guitar sounds I've ever heard, and also I can't believe it came out of that amp because I fucking hate those things. And then I messaged him after and was like, that came across so wrong. I really meant that as a compliment. I hope you took it as such and not as me being like elitist or anything. He's like, no, man, it's all good. But
now that you say that, it reminds me that the reason that I got into Hot Rod DeVille's, like the 410, was similar. I went to see Barry Player, who's another crazy good local guitar player, and Barry was playing.
And he uses the overdrive channel on those things.
Yeah, he was using,
which is like unspeakable. But when he plays,
it sounds fantastic.
Sounds unbelievable.
Yeah, I used to joke all the time that they should rename the drive button to say shit, and then the more drive button to say more shit, because it just sounds so terrible. But you can get them. There was a guy that was local who was out towards like Larry's place that would mod DeVille's for like $75 back, like this is going back 15 years, 20 years,
right.
But he would mod them and they would sound way more like Marshalls on the drive channel. It was so awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But
interesting. Oh, maybe Barry had his modded. I kind of doubt it. I bet you it was stock.
He did have some mods in the back, but I don't know what it was. I feel like it was like some sort of mod to the effects loop or to something else. It wasn't to the preamp.
Hot Rod DeVille. They're heavy, but at least they sound like shit.
Fender's new motto.
Yeah. But honestly, like, we've just named two pretty epic, I mean, not unfortunately, not super world known, but two incredible world-class guitar players.
Yeah.
Playing through the same kind of crappy amp, making it sound really, really good.
Yeah.
And not like, hey, that's pretty good for, like,
no.
Whoa, that was epic.
They sound fantastic.
So, I mean, maybe it's an operator error in my case. But all that to say, that's what I ask for a backline, because that to me is a pedal platform.
Cool.
It's got way more, especially if you're using a preamp.
Yep.
So you can bypass, because their preamp is quite stiff and quite dark.
Yep.
You can go straight into their power amp and you can get a pretty lively guitar sound out of it. Where I even a great old Deluxe Reverb. To me, if I'm stuck with if I get an old Deluxe Reverb, I'm probably going to use way less pedals and turn it up a whole lot more.
Right.
And use the amp for most of
your
my
drives.
sound. Yeah. And it's just going to be a different night the way that I play through it. But and same thing with the old Princetons, like and with Princeton's, I got a buddy, Justin Weaver, down in Nashville.
Yep.
And he has this, I don't know what year it is. I want to say 68, but it's a Silverface Princeton that he had the baffle cut for a 12-inch speaker. And it is probably my favorite small amp that exists.
Wow.
And it's like perfect pedal platform.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Let's hear this again, and let's A/B kind of against, and let's talk about the differences between this and what you did on the D25 JL.
Yeah. We're gonna get flagged for that?
I don't care. Okay.
So right away, it's a lot more mid-range forward.
Yep.
Than the Deluxe. So you get a lot less of that sort of like stringy top endiness, which
can't see it, but this is what I'm touching here down here. Oh yeah, Luke can show you too. It's just the ABY switch from Twin City, or the radial Twin City. So
yeah. What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know. My phone's back, not on silent, so it could be that.
A lot more mid forward, a lot less of that sort of stringy top end, which I like, but it's definitely something that if I'm using a lot of pedals, I need to dial out.
Right.
Because that's part of the non-neutralness of the Deluxe.
Yep.
So that mid-range makes it feel a lot punchier. To me, it feels more bottom-endy, but it's actually not.
Yeah. I feel like this sounds boomier to me. But it could be the low. Sorry, Manny. It could be the lower mids, not just the bottom end.
Well, I think just it's the lack of mid-range that emphasizes the frequencies that are present. You know?
Right.
So. You can do this, though. Best of both worlds, babe.
I was going to say, I mean, running almost anything in stereo, yeah. Like stereo amps sounds better.
Yeah.
99.9% of the time.
I will say, like, the spring reverb is something that I absolutely adore, and running one amp with reverb and one without, or one with less, is definitely a cool vibe too. And it helps sort of broaden, especially if you're running reverb on both amps or different types of reverb or whatever, it actually will like broaden the way it sounds. You really, oh, whoops. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, but yeah.
So out of the three major types, or I should say four major types. So you've got like the Tweed, the Brownface, the Blackface, and Silverface.
Yeah.
What's your favorite?
It depends on the model.
Yeah.
It really depends on the model.
But if you could only buy one, which one are you gonna go with?
Honestly, probably a brown Princeton.
Okay.
Yeah. Am I allowed to use an extension cab?
I don't care. Sure.
Okay. Yeah, brown Princeton probably. Because you can, like, the Deluxe gets really quite dirty. The Princeton stays a little cleaner, so it kind of winds up being a bit of a better pedal platform.
Okay.
It has that beautiful tremolo, the bias very trem. Yeah, that's probably what I would do.
I've never played a Princeton I liked.
Crazy.
Yeah. Now, that being said, I've probably only played 3 or 4 of them ever, but they've always been, in my opinion, one of the stiffest Fenders out of all of them, and I've always found them really toppy. So
Yeah.
I've always been like, ugh, it's too bright, it's too toppy.
Well, especially the mid '60s ones. The thing about sort of the early '60s Brownface is it's like you think about sort of you go across the gamut of Fender amps, and it's like meaty, overdriven in the Tweed era, sort of scooped and clean in the Blackface era, and then sort of like, you know, I don't know, like 50-50 in the Silverface era, where 50-50 meaning sometimes you're going to get an unbelievable amp that's well balanced, and then sometimes you get an absolute dog, because their craftsmanship at that point, because they had sold to CBS, went so far down the tubes, and like the lead dress, like the wiring inside was so sloppily done. They were really noisy. They had a lot of like RF issues. They used really poor quality components. So like, but sometimes, like I said, like Weaver's Princeton is one of the most glorious sounding clean amps ever. And you know, I think it also, the earlier in the Silverface era, the better. But the brown Princeton is really cool because it doesn't have that like extra hi-fi top end. It's got the more mid-rangey punch, and it does kind of have that, you know, the brown era was really considered a transition phase between Tweed and Blackface. So you get a lot more mid-range, quite a bit more overdrive than the Blackface era, but much less than the Tweed era. So it's very much in the middle. It was like the first hand, like if you look at all the Tweed amps, they were made to be like kind of large sounding, round, not super loud, not high headroom. So you had a lot of low end, which is what sort of accounts for like the really tubby, sloppy bottom end overdrive you get from a Tweed amp. Then they started to up their filtering in the Brownface era and the Blackface era. So that's when you start to get more clean, more hi-fi, that kind of thing. So I think the brown amps are kind of the best stepping stone between those to me. So you may still not like a brown Princeton, but I built a brown Princeton clone last year. I've since completely trashed it, trying to turn it into a Dumble, and now it sucks. But it was awesome. It was fantastic, and it was basically stock. It was just like I had like maybe a couple of little like boost mods that I'd put in, but you know, you turn everything off, and it was basically stock from the Fender schematic. And it's a great amp, but especially through an extension cabinet, because like the smaller cabs, there's nothing you can do. It's going to sound small. You know, you put a microphone on it, it sounds awesome, but like in the room, a 10-inch speaker in a little tiny cabinet like that, not much you can do.
I was going to say, that's probably part of my problem, is that the only times I play them is that. Like it's in
you kind of have to use your imagination.
Yeah, cool. Well, next time I'm down in Tennessee, I'm sure some of my friends have. Somebody's got to have an old Brownface Princeton.
Yeah, well, I've been meaning to rebuild mine, and if I ever get that up and running, I'll bring it down.
Yeah, love to try it. So there you have it.
There you have it, folks.
Thanks for coming and hanging out. See you next time.